Hello and welcome back to Sosnovka, Sovkhoz, episode 3 with me, Mr. CLP. So, today we'll see the first of many farming purchases, hopefully. I'm just going to go and park up the Schluter, and I'm not going to sell it, but I'm going to replace it and get the first of the new tractors that I said I was thinking of buying. So we'll whiz this to one of the little barn areas and park it up. Stick it in here. I'd say out of the weather, but that said, the rain seems to just go through everything. And my God, has it been raining. So, first off then, new tractor. I am going to go with the Lamborghini. I haven't really used it very much before, if at all, on any of the gameplay series I've done. So that's first purchase, new tractor. But I am also going to need a seeder. So I'm going to get the Vedestad, because that tractor will pull it. It's got 220 horsepower, so it should pull that, no problem at all. I'm also going to get a fertilizer spreader. I'll get the front extra tank anyway, because the field's a bit bigger. Do I get a sprayer or a spreader? I think I'll get a spreader, but I will get the front tank. Yeah. Oh, that's a big decision, isn't it? No, spreader. I'll get the trailer. Again, it's got a big capacity, so I've got the money, might as well. So, there we go, the Lamborghini. A very nice looking tractor. It's another one of those ones that's got a real chunky kind of look to it. I do like that. I have mentioned it before, I think, that I do like that look in the tractors. It's got a really good interior. Lots of detail. It's got quite a smooth sound to it as well. That sounds weird, but the different tractors have sort of different sounds, and some more sort of chugging sound of a proper sort of throaty tractor sound, and some kind of like throb. The engine sound throbs, but this has got quite a smooth. The Deutz-Fahr's the same, the TTV. That has that same kind of smooth ride to it. So yeah, I like this. Not too bad so far. I mean, if I've just picked it up, it could turn out to be absolutely awful, but it seems okay. So, at the yard, what I'll do, fill up the seeder to start off with. That way it's good to go. And I'm thinking, as well, as we've got that money sitting there, and I'm getting the first bits to get the farm up and going. The logging's been going well, the logging will continue. I'll probably do a lot more of that behind the scenes. So the logging will continue to fund the farm as it gets on its feet. I think I'll buy a field. I think, yeah, because I've got the small one, which at the end of the day, it's got a tiny little bit of wheat in it. I think it could be barley. I can never remember. Still pouring with rain, so the harvest to be bought isn't doing anything. But I think we'll grab a field. Why not? So I think we'll start with field 23. What are we looking at? 129,000. Yeah, I've got enough. Why not? Let's get it. Doesn't leave me very much, but never mind. It's not a bad size actually. It's not one of the biggest, but it's a big-ish field. So my decision now is, do I cut it in half? Do I put a couple of strips of grass across it and have it as two separate fields, or do I leave it as one big field? I'm thinking leave it as one big field, and stick maybe canola in it to get a bit of money coming in. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. And that's the plan. Field 19 is the one we start off with. I think we have 14 as well, actually, right next to the dairy farm. 19's got a crop in it, but I can't harvest it yet because of the rain. 14's empty. So I need to decide what I'm going to do with that. So now I've got 3 fields, 14, 19 and 23. So I'm going to stick a couple of strips in, maybe 3, across the headlands either end, to give us room to turn for seeding. And we'll crack on and get some canola in this field. So for those of you that watched the first couple of episodes and are thinking, when are we ever going to get into farming? We are now getting onto farming. We have got a bit of equipment now. We have bought some proper farming equipment. The forestry equipment is used, and we will use it to make money for the farm. But this is the proper kind of agricultural equipment, if you will. We will gradually move on to the animal husbandry side of things as well. But let's start off, get a couple of crops in and get them growing. Right, that's my 3 strips done. Happy with that. I'll do one run up the full length of the field to the other end, stick in the headland at the other end. Then I've got my turning circles either end. Turning circles, a circle implies all around. Turning space, whatever you want to call it. U-turn room. I always misjudge the width of this cedar, don't know why. Very peculiar, but that should be okay. I think we're lined up. Let's get a strip in, up the side. Right, well that whizzes up the side. I'm thinking as well that having parked up the schluter, I might use that to put the fertiliser spreader on. That way it's kind of got a dedicated tractor. I might upgrade it and get something else at some point. I haven't really owned a Z-Tour. I might get a Z-Tour for doing that, for doing this spreading, seeing as it's a Russian map. Yeah, might do. Yeah, for those of you that maybe don't have Gold Edition, I know I mentioned it in one of the other episodes on one of my other gameplay series. Obviously with Farming Simulator 17 due out, why would you consider getting the Gold Edition if you're new to the game or you've been playing it a while and you just never got the Gold Edition? It's worth it. It's well worth every penny. It's a great map. The extra vehicles you get and equipment and stuff. It's you know, it really increases the gameplay. It's a different style of map, different problems that arise, different ways of tackling the actual farming side of it. So if you haven't got it, I would suggest absolutely get it. It's a good tractor this, I do like it. One of those lesser known facts, I suppose, to people that are into farming. It's not a lesser known fact that Lamborghini started out making tractors before supercars. And interestingly enough, the DB on Aston Martin is for David Brown, because he started off making tractors, David Brown tractors, and then moved into sports cars as well. So yeah, fascinating how that transition from tractors to sports cars, supercars, is it's incredible really. But anyway, I digress somewhat. Right, headland's done on both ends. I've got the strip up one side, so now we need to get this crop in. So what I'm going to do is start off down this side, and then I'll probably set a worker on it, and then I'll whiz off and jump into the schluter to go and pick up the fertiliser spreader, bring that back to the farm. That's the plan. I have lots of plans. If you've watched any of my other videos, any other gameplay series down on the farm in Bjornholm, or welcome, Westbridge Hills welcome, you would know today's plan. I often have today's plans. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't, depends. Sometimes a great demand pops up, sometimes something that you weren't expecting happens and you end up going off at a slight tangent for the episode. But normally when I start an episode I have an idea in my head of what I want to do. Obviously finances do dictate somewhat, and whether fields are ready in time. So yeah, I mean obviously the start of this gameplay series, if you haven't watched series episode 1 and 2, go and have a look. I have sort of changed it slightly from the other two gameplay series of how I started this map off. You know, there's an element of storytelling, an element of making it interesting, and then there's an element of like the gameplay, seeing how people do different things differently. Oh, my teeth back in today. What's going on? So yeah, I did start off with the forestry. I did start off by planting trees, and obviously for those of you who are, you know, aside from the storytelling aspect of it, yeah, I came on here, planted loads of trees, and then set it on 120, speeded it up right up, and then left it for a few hours for those trees to grow. So when I started the gameplay series, there was a forest already in place over by the lumberyard. It kind of added to the gameplay, the storyline. And that's what I mean. It's a slightly different start to this gameplay series than I have done in the other two. So, filled up the fertilizer spreader. I will go over to the field because I will need to kind of mirror what the seed is doing. Get some fertilizer in there as well so we can get these crops going. Canola, if you've watched any of my other gameplay series, is a real bugbear of mine. It's, for some reason, it takes forever to grow. Once I kind of get the gameplay up and running, I tend to play in real time. I will often skip through the night, although what I will do sometimes is off screen I might do logging, things like that. So I might go into the night doing logging and stuff off screen, and then I only really skip through a very, very small part of the night just to get back to the morning to start the next day's gameplay. So I do tend to play in real time. So sometimes the crops can take a long time to grow, and the canola seems to be one of them. I don't know why. When I was on Westbridge Hills Welcome, I waited so long for the canola crop. I think it was on field 16, I think it was. Just took forever. It just didn't want to grow. Yeah, I think I ended up turning up the speed to 15 times, I think, just to get the crop ready. I was running out of other things to do. But to be fair, on this one, if I can get a couple of fields bought initially, while I'm waiting for crops to harvest, I could be harvesting other fields. If I'm waiting for seeds to grow, crops to grow, I could do some more lumber. And as the farm progresses, there will be other jobs that need doing around waiting for crops to grow. So, fingers crossed on that. That went a bit weird. Anyway, I am waffling again, as I often do. I will leave that little gap at the top if I'm going to go across the other way. Seems pointless putting two lots of fertiliser over it. I have done when I did my how-to kind of test map, when I try things out and do videos for that, I have tried doing double fertilising fields. You don't get more yield. I think the maximum you can get, if you are playing PC versions and you've got soil mod on, you can I'm having a nightmare today. Just for the record, I haven't been drinking. I don't know what's going on. You can dramatically increase the amount of yield you get off of your fields by using the soil mod, by actually doing it properly, spraying herbicides, pesticides, fertilising, you know, all of the aspects of the soil mod. You can massively increase the yield of a crop. Unfortunately, on the console version, you can double the yield. It doesn't matter what you put on it, it will double the yield. I did try it on a sort of test map idea that if I put a crop in and then tried putting fertiliser on, slurry on, manure on, would it double it, and then double it and double it? It didn't. So 2 times yield is the best you're going to get, unfortunately. while I am wittering, as it were. I mean, if you come back to this gameplay series and you're watching this video a long time from now, it's not really going to be that relevant, but it's a kind of historical account, if you want to call it that. One of the development blogs came out today for Farming Simulator 17, a new one out today. Trains. Looking at the map they showed, there are 2 separate train track systems, if you want to call it that. 2 loops that run round and they meet in the middle, and you can actually transport lumber, crops around the map using the trains. You can also drive the trains to do that at 2 different locations, and the centre location where the 2 train loops meet, there are cranes for loading and unloading lumber, which are manually operated cranes. It looks like a great addition. Fantastic idea. So if you've got stuff on one far side of the map, yeah, you can haul it by tractor and trailer, you can haul it by truck if you want to, but sticking it on a train, taking it by train to the central point of the station, you can switch it from one train to the other train and then take it on the other loop to the far side of the map. It's a great addition, adds a whole different bit of gameplay to it. Again, as I've said before on my videos, will it be on the console version? Every single development blog that's come out, the gameplay ones, everything, they keep stressing released on October the 25th, 26th, for PC, Xbox, PlayStation 4. So there is an assumption, unfortunately, that all of these things they're showing as features of the new game will be available on all those platforms. We don't know that for definite. So, whilst getting excited about all the new developments, there is always that possibility that some of those elements won't be available for console, which is a bit of a pain. Although, that said, another addition to my waffle and chat this week, I think it was this week, saw another release from Sony about PlayStation 4, and they're releasing the Sony PlayStation 4 Pro, which they're claiming the games will all be cross-compatible. They won't have PlayStation 4 Pro specific games, you will still be able to play all your games on it, but it's going to be a faster running machine, higher definition, everything is supposed to be superior. So I suppose there's always the potential, like upgrading a PC, that if you upgraded to the PlayStation 4 Pro, that it might unlock or allow for more of the features for Farming Simulator 17. Again, don't know. It's all a bit sort of pie in the sky, but all these things seem to be all happening in conjunction, so I'm not quite sure. We will see. Anyway, back to the farm. We are nearly done on field 23, putting the seed in. I've done a couple of strips of fertiliser, so I'll wait till this does its last strip down seeding, and I will follow it down with the fertiliser spreader. So that field 23. I don't know if I should just stop and start the entire episode again. Oh dear. I don't normally get tongue-tied, I don't normally have problems doing these, but for some reason today, not going well. Anyway, as I was saying, field 23 should then be done. Seeded, fertilised, good to go. That is the beauty of that Vaderstadt seeder, because it's a seeder and cultivator. You don't have to do any prep work to the field first. Some people still do. They do it as a matter of course. They will cultivate, then they will seed. Even if the seed has already got a built-in cultivator, they'll have cultivated. And some people even go to the lengths of every 2 or 3 times they do a crop rotation, they will plough a field out completely, then they'll cultivate it, then they'll seed it again. Comes down to your preference, what you like to do. If you want to get your plough into the game, then yeah, every so often say to yourself, right, that field's going to be ploughed. I'm going to give it a good turnover. We don't often, or I haven't, left fields fallow and done crop rotation and that kind of thing, but I suppose if you wanted to go the whole hog, you could do that. get your fields into little groups and do crop rotation, leaving one fallow every time. Yeah, it depends how far you want to take it. So that's it, done. Field 23 seeded. Happy with that. All in, all done. I'm going to take the seeder over to... Oh, my mind's gone blank. Field 14. Over to field 14. Small field, tiny little one, right next to the dairy. And what I will do, probably in the next episode, is grass it. Yeah, field 14, there we go. I'm going to grass it. I'm going to grass it because the dairy farm, the cows need grass, so I might as well have a field close. It's a tiny little field, it's not going to be really much use for anything else, so I'm going to grass the whole thing and use that for grass for the cows. Right, unfortunately it's left a tiny little strip down the side, so I'm just going to set that off, whiz up the side and do that. Anyway, that's field 23 done. First bit of farming. Hope you enjoyed the episode. Please come back if you like it, subscribe. Any comments, leave a comment. Thanks for coming. Look forward to seeing you again next episode. Thanks for watching.